Good evening, vloggers. I've been looking at one or two videos on the net, and so I think I understand what it's all about. And my interpretation, I think it's the weaponry that bikers carry to defend themselves against motorists. For example, chain lube, squirting at the eyes, bungee cords to flick at the drivers. So this is my think bike, think biker, but I'm going to do it all in one go. So the first one is T, and that is telescopic sight. Now these are the weapons I usually carry when I'm out on a ride, and this is your telescopic sight on a rifle, and you've got to give yourself a scenario. You're driving along a mountain road, and white van man cuts you off, and it's quite a dangerous situation. So what I suggest you do, if you're carrying one of these with a telescopic sight, is to pull over safely and get the van lined up in your sights, and then take its registration number. If you go to the police and how you got the number, they'll be quite impressed. H. Now H could stand for hooligan or harassed or harassed, and basically it's another scenario. You're at the traffic lights, and we've got boy racing next to us at the set of lights, 2 lanes, and he's revving, showing off to his girlfriend, playing his boom boom shake the room music, and riding a cruiser, you're probably not going to beat him from the lights, so it'll be a little bit embarrassing. So what I suggest we do is pull out your 357 Magnum, and for American viewers, if you wonder what this is, it's this bit of scaffolding which we have to put on them in this country, so you can't put them in your pocket and hold up McDonald's or somewhere. So it's a 357 Magnum, not the most powerful handgun in the world, but with a Magnum load, what I suggest is next to you, a couple of rounds through the engine block, and basically he probably won't even notice because he's busy listening to his hip-hop, hippity-hop rap stuff, and you can then pull away from the lights. He'll try and accelerate away, and he will have think something's wrong with his engine, basically. So the next one is I. Now I looks a little bit like a 1, doesn't it? Yeah, so what we're going to do here, another gun I carry regularly on the bike is the M1. Isn't named after a motorway. It's a Second World War military carbine, but this one is the only one you can have in Britain, which is a 22 caliber, and I'll come to caliber later in the vlog. But basically, used to use these at the fair a few years ago, so they're just scary looking, they don't hurt. So that one. Next one is N, and I do think that some authorities, local councils, probably think it's a bit naughty to carry all these weapons on board, but I disagree. Next what we've got is a K. I've got nothing for K, but I've got, instead of a kicking cur, we'll go curly cur. And if our American viewers are watching, you probably won't have a clue what I'm talking about. But what it is Civil War. Now, we're not on about the English Civil War, because motorcycles weren't invented then. We're on about the American Civil War, which was fought between, I think they're called Yankees and Johnny Reb, the North and South of America. And obviously the North won, we know that, and the reason being, well, firstly, they've got bloody great things like this, to be honest. Now, shooting that off your motorcycle, it's a bit too long, to be honest, and it's a single shot, so not really advised. But during the American Civil War, the South, Johnny Reb, had to import these weapons from Europe, and the motorcycles they rode. So they actually had Vespers and Lambrettas. I think General Lee had a Lambretta, and the rest had Vespers. And as we know, Wisconsin makes Harley Davidson, and I think Harley Davidson are about 5 miles faster than a Vespa 125. So the North one basically. So that's that. Next one is B, and this is what you call a cross draw frontline special. It's a very long barrel again because of British law. You've got to be 5 feet long or something anyway. And again, another scenario. You've just been to Wyvern Bikers chip shop run at Market Deeping, and you're coming back on the Bourne to Colesworth Road, and you're riding along, and the motorist in front of you puts his washers on. So once not too bad, but when they put them on 3 times, you think you've done that on purpose. You know who you are. And so what I suggest you do is, as you're going past, and with this you'll need a little stop lock on your throttle. This is a 44 Magnum, by the way. And as you're going past, just shoot the little washers off the bonnet. Now, if you don't know what the little washers look like, and they're like little bugs, like little insects, and cars usually have 2. This holds 6, so if you do miss with one, you can have another pop at it. And the motorist usually sort of waves to say, "Yes, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have squirted you." So that's that. So the next one we've got is I, and I's for idiot. Now, what I suggest is you do use guns in a safe place and don't shoot yourself, and don't be an idiot. Next one is K again, and I've gone for curly cur, which is caliber. Now, caliber is the size of round of bullet, and 44, 45 is big, and 22, which we're only allowed in this country, is about the size of a gnat's testicle. And if you shot somebody hundreds of times, they probably wouldn't even know, and they wouldn't even fetch the paint off the car. So they're quite safe. Next one, and we'll go back to the M1 carbine. Now this is a semi-automatic, so basically as you shoot, E is for ejector. The little spent cases fly out, and unless you've got a band of gypsies, is that a band of gypsies, a gaggle of gypsies, a shoal of gypsies? Now I'm going to go with band of gypsies. Unless you've got a band of gypsies following you to sweep up the spent cartridges, then you could be prosecuted £50 for littering. So just be careful when shooting a lot, say on the motorway or somewhere, you know. Think bike. The next one is T again. Now I've got nothing. So we're going to go for H. H is good. Yep, H is handgun. Now this is a short barrel because it's cap and ball. In other words, it takes you about 2 weeks to load it. So the government said you can use these. So that's a handgun because it basically fits in the hand. Okay, and it's normally in this saddlebag. I keep this one. Next one we've got is I, and I'm saying that's irritating because how many eyes are in this think biker thing is just too many. N is nitro, and as we know, nitro is the propellant in a bullet, but it's also good fuel for drag races. Great, yeah, love it. Next one is K, and we've got curly cur again, I think, on this one. So we'll go back to this Colt, invented by Sam Colt, and the legend goes, you can see how the revolver goes round. He was watching a Royal Enfield motorbike back in 1850 something, I think, or 1840, and he saw the wheels go round, and it gave him the idea for that. So, although the British and the French had invented the revolver before him, but that's by the by. So now what have we got now? We've got right, B for Bullet, and Bullet, great movie. Steve McQueen, watch it, it's fantastic. I, good God, how many eyes have we got in this thing? So yeah, not got anything on that one. K, Kalashnikov. Now I haven't got a Kalashnikov. In the Vietnamese War, with the Americans weapon of choice was the M16, and it was 223, 226 caliber, which again is 22. It's like fairground things, ping, ping, ping. So the Viet Cong called Charlie. They're all called Charlie. So when they said Charlie, come here, everybody came there. So I don't understand how they actually. I think they won, didn't they? Yeah. So that probably confused the Americans with everybody called Charlie. So this was the 2-2, so they didn't stand much chance against the AK-47 with a big bullet. So that's that one. So okay. Right, E. We've got E, and that's for empty. Now I do suggest before you go out for a ride to make sure your guns are fully loaded, and you know, don't go out on empty, because you know, you never know. And R is for rifle. Now we've seen a rifle, and the rifle is a big long thing, and whereas a handgun goes in the hand, the rifle goes in the two hands. It should have been called a two-hand gun really, but it's called a rifle. So that's my interpretation of think bike, think biker. So you motorists, just you think out there. Stay safe, everyone.